And welcome back. Let's continue in this Chapter 4 extension. And what we are doing here right now is to make an effort to trim this Eagle Avenue corridor surface so that it stays within the boundaries. So what we're going to find is there's some logic here that Civil 3D simply can't deal with. So we have to fix that manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this corridor, and in my corridor editing toolbar I have this option to clear what Civil 3D is calling bow ties. So if I click that, I'm going to be asked to select the underlying alignments surrounding this curve, and then I'm going to be asked to select where I want these two boundaries to intersect. So I select, and I have my selection cycling turned on. So I'm going to come down here and say that I want my alignment. Select the, let's see, I'll just call it the Y direction. Come down and say I want my alignment. And so now Civil 3D is asking me, okay, where do I want to join these? So I need to pick something that has a definitive snap, right? If I just pick something that has like some kind of nearest snap, I don't know what I'm going to get. So I'm going to pick this point as an endpoint, and then I'm going to press enter. And you can see that that kind of bow tie thing is gone, and there's a clean, at least we call it logically clean math solution here. So we have one more to clean up, and I'm going to come up here, hit escape a couple times, select my corridor. There it is. Clear these bow ties. And actually, you know what? So let me back up here a second. So notice when I hover over something, there's this little icon that shows two pieces of paper right next to my cursor. Kind of small on the screen, but it is what it is. And so that's a selection cycling option. So if I simply type selection cycling as a command on the command line, I have options, I think, of 0, 1, and 2. Right? So in Civil 3D, it's really helpful to turn this on, which is value of 2. And then anytime I select by a click an object that has multiple objects on top of each other, I get a selection filter that allows me to choose whatever I want. Right? So I want to have my alignment as part of my check. Okay. So I, of course, forgot where I'm at. And let's come back. Here's my corridor. Clear these bow ties. Select this object that has multiple things on top of each other. Get my alignment. And then repeat that for the second, now vertical line. And make sure I get my alignment. And then I'm going to come in here and get a definitive snap. I don't know. We'll try something like this. Press enter. And I don't know. That might work. May have already worked. Let's back off. Yep, still got an issue out here. So let's try that one more time on this upper section. Select my corridor, clear bow ties, get the alignment, because that's what the corridor is built off of. Come in here and we'll try, I don't know, let's try this as a snap and press enter. Yeah, I'm looking for it to bring this back down. So I'm going to try that again. Alignment. I'm rolling down to alignment, and definitely going to pick a different spot this time. Let's try a spot out here where there's no snap, and let's see what we get. Okay, it clearly looks logically like it makes sense. And so now I'm going to come over to do this surface over here and ask it to rebuild. And I'm expecting that to disappear. So I'm going to look for one more bow tie or one more issue and put this on pause for a second. All right, we're back. And so I think that this is cleared off. We'll find out whether I can trust myself in or not here, or in a minute. So we still have this corridor surface that is extending past and enclosing an entire region that we don't want it to. So at this point, we have a, I think, correct design. So I'm going to select this corridor and then right click and say I want to go look at either the corridor properties or the corridor surfaces. Doesn't matter, same dialog box. So I'll choose surfaces. And what we want to do is we want to add a boundary to this thing. So I come up to this boundaries tab, select the surface and right click and say that I want the extents of the outer boundary of the corridor to create the boundary for the surface. So I just click on that and I get a new boundary now, and it says that it's going to shrink wrap to the outside boundary of the corridor. I'll click apply, rebuild the corridor, click OK, and notice here in plan view that one green line disappeared. So in Civil 3D, again, I probably mentioned this 15 times, but I don't trust looking down in plan views, so I'm going to go look at this in 3D. And right click and say I want to select this Eagle Avenue surface. And now I can see that yes, it does very clearly follow the road corridor, and it's not cutting across these two legs forming a large square. So we finally have a good surface. So now we have two of the three surfaces that we're looking for: an Eagle Avenue surface and the original Ocean Bird Sanctuary land. So let's create a cut and fill report to see how much dirt has to be cut away from the existing land, and then how much dirt has to be filled in to this area, right? So depending on if the road is above the land, then we'd have to add soil. And if the road is below the existing land, then we have to fill in. So on the Analyze tab up here in Civil 3D, there is this volume dashboard thing. And this is what we're looking to do. We're looking to create a volume surface. So I'm going to click this. And third icon from the left is create a new volume surface. And I'm going to click that. And I get to name it. So clearly I want my name to be Eagle Avenue. And I'm going to call this volume surface. And then all I have to do is define what's the base surface and what am I comparing back to the base surface. My base surface is the land, and the comparison surface is, of course, Eagle Avenue, right? And there's this ellipsis on the right. I click in here, choose my Eagle Avenue, click OK, and I get some kind of report here. And so what's in red says there's dirt that has to be cut away. What's in green is fill, and I can see numbers over here. So let's see, the cut is 4,300 cubic yards, and the fill is 4,100 cubic yards, right? So ultimately, the cut and the fill can be considered pushing dirt around. The ultimate question is how much dirt do we have to take off the site, or how much dirt do we have to buy to bring in, which is the net adjusted, right? And so this is 157 cubic yards, And quite honestly, we would like to have as few dump trucks or as few trucks come in as possible. So 157 cubic yards would be something like 10 small dump trucks, or, I don't know, some of these larger items, it might be 5 or 6 trucks. So we'd like to do a little bit better than that, and we will pick up on that task in the next video. Hope this is helpful, and we'll see you in chapter 5.